Okay, then let's get started. Welcome everyone. On the agenda today are the relocation or migration of our concourse. So the old instance is going to be retired. I would tear down the old cluster tomorrow. Everything has already been paused, and we have moved to the new approach provided by the ARI colleagues, Runtime Interfaces Infrastructure. So concourse, this is the new approach that we have adopted. There were quite a lot of pitfalls, but we contributed to the documentation so that hopefully the next project adopting this approach will have it a bit easier. So some Terraform plugins do not work on ARM. You have them compile by yourself but nevertheless, it now worked. Time deployments. So this is the project where the configuration is hosted. As you can see, we had to copy only a few of the files. Actions controller could actually be removed. We don't use that. So here is our configuration. This is where we specify the project name, the zone, the domain, the GitHub team for authentication, and the Terraform stuff, the Terraform modules are just referenced here with via Git with a specific tag that of course needs to be updated from time to time. And so we have a quite good separation of configuration and coding. Yeah, so in our CF deployments WG GCP project, we now have the 2 Kubernetes clusters. Concourse is going to be removed. Yeah, so it says migrate to updated APIs. That's the problem we had. This is the new cluster. And yeah, we currently have 16 worker nodes. I had to scale up because this terrifying big job, which recompiles all the releases, we had to execute it once to produce a valid version of the stem cell resource. And this one consumes really a lot of resources. So I had to scale up the Bosch director to 16 CPUs and also scale up the nodes. These were all failing because of network timeouts and other resource constraints. We have actually auto scaling on for the nodes, but this will have absolutely no effect because there is no trigger event that would cause any up or down scaling. The pod auto scaling is not activated, and typically when you request more pods and there are no more nodes the pods can be placed on, then Kubernetes would add more nodes. However, I tried pod auto scaling and it's also not a good idea because if Kubernetes downscales the pods, you get orange concourse jobs because it says worker is missing, can't connect to work or something. So this does simply not work. What also did not work so nice was the automatic update of the node version. So today, Kubernetes automatically updated to this version, the latest stable or something, only one node at a time, but still it hits a few running jobs and then it turned orange and had to be re-triggered. Okay, I guess that's what we have to live with. Yeah, so I would scale down the nodes to maybe 8 as on our old instance, and only if there will be a major stem cell update, then we have to remember that we have to scale up again so that this job passes. But okay, everything else is more or less green. The orange ones have not been triggered yet. The deployment pipeline is as green as it should be. I see, Carsten, you have repaired a lot of the infrastructure environments. Some of them were broken. It wasn't exactly clear to me why. Today I've repaired the Windows infrastructure. There were 2 conflicting jumpbox IPs, so I tore down everything, set it up again from scratch, and it works again. So I hope this is all fine now. Good. And if there are no objections, I would remove the old concourse tomorrow. I wonder if we should keep a database backup, but for the logs, could do, yeah. Okay, good, yeah.
No real opinion.
No real opinion.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Okay, I'll check if it's easy, but likely we don't.
Yeah, nobody will ask for it, and if we would need some historic builds, we would probably have to recreate them anyway to have some patches, but this never happened, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Okay, good. Then regarding the environments, there is still one environment, credential, the concourse GCP service account JSON, which it is used here to upload compiled releases into buckets, and it's pointing to not to our GCP project, but to the CI Reliant Concourse project. So this should, Carsten, should still be migrated, yes?
Yep. I can have a go at that.
Okay. So it would basically mean changing the service account, creating the buckets as needed. Just let me check, where is the cloud storage? So these are the buckets we have. This is what you already did, Carsten. This is a bucket for Bosch logs of failed jobs so that we can retrieve those logs later for debugging. That should work. I think it's empty because nothing failed at the moment. And in the same manner, we would need to migrate the buckets for the compiled releases. Why does it take so long?
I think I don't know why it's taking so long, but I'll probably, for the compiled releases, I'll probably have to do a transfer job to get everything over. Unlike these component bump logs, you probably want to get all of the old compiled releases into the new bucket. The tricky part about the whole transfer process usually is that the bucket names are unique. So you have to like delete one or like copy everything to a backup bucket, delete that bucket, delete the old bucket, quickly recreate a new bucket, and then transfer them all to the new bucket from the backup bucket.
The idea the bucket names are globally unique. Yeah,
but can do. Yeah, I'll add it to my to-do list.
Okay, good.
I know where the
Great.
the compiled releases are, so we'll just
Okay,
I
so
wonder.
yeah.
Oh, I guess because as long as we keep the same bucket name, we don't have to update any references to it, right? Because
I
it
think
probably
not. Yes.
used. Yeah, okay. Cool.
If we can keep it, would be good, but yeah, it's probably a little bit more effort. Yeah. Okay, so here's one Bosch log archive from the Python build packs. That's, I think, still because they had this VV 1.8.0, this broken revision, which pops up every now and then. Good. Now what else did I want? This is all fine. Yeah, okay. So for Concourse, there should be nothing more to do. Good. Update on FS4 is very simple. The R build pack has now CF Linux FS4 support, and we've already integrated it. It's released in 26.2, I think. Yes. So it's just 3 more build packs to go. And yeah, here they are. Good. Making progress, a bit slowly, but progress. Okay. Then let's go over last time's meeting minutes. We wanted to transfer this Docker registry to check for the Cloud Foundry acceptance tests that check access to a private registry. I haven't done it yet. I have an idea. We have one GCP mail left, which we could use to create a free Docker account where you can host then exactly one private repository for free or something. Haven't done it yet because of the Concourse migration, but could work without having to use a paid subscription. Then the discussion on the add system metrics agent ops files. So there are, so I opened the issue and asked how people use system metrics component and which integration option they prefer. So yeah, Rene said he would prefer an explicit opt-in. Then Jovan commented, on the pros and cons of system metrics release versus other solutions, but I think he did not really show preference for one of the for opt-in versus opt-out. So we could leave this open until next meeting and then come to a decision. I mean, opt-in doesn't sound wrong.
Yeah. If there are no really strong opinions, I would also go for an opt-in. That's it's the minimal change,
it's
right?
Minimal change, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Shouldn't Benjamin have commented on this issue?
Yes, we could ping him again.
Okay, ping.
I mean, he raised this.
Raised this topic. Okay, so I will ping him and ask for one more opinion. Okay, good. Logregator release stuff. It's not strictly our topic. I have not heard any news, which
I think we're good on that front. That was a red herring at the time.
Yeah, so no new releases. Okay. yeah, we discussed some approaches how to best work around the missing recent logs handler. So it's not really our concern, yeah. So
it's no an
there's-
SAP internal issue, and
this is
people have to get their
really
hands to the
wondering why
keyboard and
why there is no new release. It's now February.
Huh.
Sure. Well, okay, good. Yeah, build pack updates. We have that. 3 more missing. Change is announced. I hope I checked the wiki and the documentation, and I hope I found all old URLs and replaced them with a new one. Yeah, so that is also almost completed. Okay. Good. Any other business?
it's maybe not for today because it's still a bit early and there are still 3 build packs missing, but we should make up our minds how we continue with the CF Linux FS4, how to make it the default, or when to make it the default in CF deployment, basically. I mean, there are the ops files, and we would then also provide ops files to opt out of CF Linux FS4, but I think we should pave the road to make this the standard stack. And then also when it comes, let's say May, think about the removal. I mean, that's still some time, but
I mean, making it the default is, I guess, only really possible when we have the build packs all in.
Yeah. We need first all build packs, but then I think we could bake it into the standard deployment and have just ops files that add CF Linux FS3, maybe remove CF Linux, but I would not add a ops file for removing the new stack. I mean, if somebody needs that, they can invent their own ops file. This is pretty special.
Yeah, I think then we can make a somewhat hard switch and integrate this into CF deployment YAML. I think there's still this open pull request.
Is
no,
sorry, my understanding was that if we hard switch it, like remove CF Linux FS3, then that would cause problems for anyone running a deployment where there's like even a single app that still runs CF Linux FS3. I guess they could use the ops file to add it back in, is what we're talking about.
So
but there's also the option of just keeping it as like a secondary option in CFD for some period of time before removing it and adding the ops file.
Also possible. Yeah, that's where we need to make up our minds, and then I mean, at the end in May, we have to remove CF Linux FS3 from CF deployment. I mean, companies can still decide to ship it anyway, but then you need to take care for OS maintenance, etc. So I would not keep it in the standard deployment. That should be
right. I guess it would be. I'm curious if we should, after we get all the ops files in, whether we should start running a like some kind of pipeline with no CF Linux FS3 just to see if there's anything breaking there before we make that full transition over. Because if, certain ops files or errands, if they exist, may involve CF Linux FS3 apps that we don't know about.
Yes.
It's an argument to remove the 3 stack completely, right? Because then we see it out of the box, and then we have an experimental ops file. We would add the 3 stack to see also that both stacks work. Of course, that's also important.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'd say maybe everybody can think about it, and we discuss it as a topic in the next meeting. I mean, it's not that urgent. We can also do it step by step with the next version. Let's say if the build packs are all there, ship both stacks. Then once 2 weeks later, we switch the default, and 2 weeks later, we remove CF Linux FS3 from the default shipment, but still have, of course, the ops files to add them again, so that we have here a nice transition. Yeah, and then we have May.
Okay, I can try to detail this out a little bit.
Yeah.
How changing the ops files a little, this is not so much of a problem. Yeah, the validation. We first change FS4 to default, and then we might already find something breaking here.
Mm-hmm.
Could be. And then when we remove FS3, more likely we will find something that breaks. And yeah, then we need a kind of, will be good integrated into the Bionic validation. This one runs with FS3, so with the ops file at FS3 stack, and then we have it here, and the rest just runs with FS4.
I think we should also, once we have that, maybe in a ticket or something, some ideas when we do what we could, or we should maybe also write a mail to CF developers, because it will affect really everybody who deploys something. I know it from the communication that we have to do at the moment. For our SAP customers, that's a hell of an effort, and a little bit communication doesn't harm.
True, yeah. Good.
So lots of major version updates for CF deployment.
There will be a few major version updates, but okay.
Yeah.
So, okay. So I can try to detail this out a little bit and then figure out how many major updates we need exactly, if 2 is enough, or if we need 1 more, and then write an announcement to CF Dev what is to come. Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay, but nevertheless, this from CF deployment point of view, this should be all rather easy, and compared to what we have here at SAP, forcing the customers to migrate from 3 to 4 somehow in time, and there is not too much time left. Yeah. Okay. Good. Anything else?
Is Uptimer still red?
Uptimer was quite red, yes. I didn't really understand why.
Figure out why. I cannot reproduce this locally. GitHub Actions is passing. Do not know what's going on with this one.
Have you hijacked the container?
I hijacked it, reran it, got the same result, but I haven't tried to. There's no Vim or anything on the container, so I can't edit the code on the container to print stuff out and see what's going on. The output is cut off because it's so large, so I can't see what the difference is between the expected and the actual.
Which image is this using now?
Relent base.
Yes.
Interesting.
Not the CF deployment concourse tasks thing?
We could probably switch to the CF deployment concourse tasks one.
Most jobs use that, and you have everything you need.
I think that one has Vim. So that would be helpful. Yeah.
There's also the pipeline is cut off. I think I created this simple ship it.
We don't. We've never actually shipped Uptimer.
Yeah.
We just pull latest. which is probably why you removed it.
Okay, I can also check if the pipeline has been correctly migrated. Should it have now a ship it or not?
Depends. We've never shipped it. It would be, but we can if we want to. It's I think we just typically use go install at latest whenever we want it.
Okay. Well, okay, I think if you use the CF deployment conquest tasks image, then it should be fine. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with the Reliant base image. Yeah, just try that.
Call out. Yeah, I'll try switching it and see if that fixes the issue.
Good. Yeah, the complicated stuff is working. That was the important part. Don't be afraid of a few red jobs.
Yeah.
I messed around a lot with the pool locking stuff to get the windows up and running again, but eventually it succeeded. Yeah, so this is all fine.
Good. Yeah,
and we already created the first release with the new pipeline. So, okay.
Cool.
Okay, good. Anything else? If not, then have a nice evening or a nice day. And
thank you.
See you in 2 weeks then.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.